Hi. The other day I was at the opera, night at the opera with Wagner's Der Fliegende Holländer, the Flying Dutchman. And it's a while I have seen this piece. I have been a stage extra many, many years ago, and it was kind of that I didn't understand anything about what the piece could have been whatsoever, with all these mise en scène and stage effects going on at that time. Now, I figured out rather immediately, and it was going to be more confirmed, that it's a very simple piece, which actually is a conversation between, let's say, 3 or 4 people, and it's in a short time span, happening in about 2 days, maybe in 3 nights, something about that, and in 2 places, on a ship, and then later on in a undescribed little village somewhere, probably in Norway, in a little fisher town. So not so much about the historical background, and not so much about any knowledge you can read in Wikipedia anyway. So the piece is, if you're not familiar with it, about a captain who is coming back from a long journey with his ship and the crew, and just a short time before he would arrive at this hometown port, they find another ship anchoring, and after some calling and no reactions, they find the captain, and the captain comes over and presents himself as a Dutchman, and is kind of looking for shelter for a night on the boat and on the ship, and he pays to the captain apparently big bunch of money or jewels or value or something. He gives him a lot of rich stuff, and saying that he has got more of that in his boat. So it's a strange situation anyway. And when he finds out, the Dutchman, that the captain has a daughter, he immediately dreams up to take this young daughter as his wife. And there is more to it, apparently, but it remains quite blurry, that he needs this young woman in order to resolve a problem, to solve his life problem, to be erlöst, as it's in German, die Erlösung, it's redemption. A redemption, I think, in English, of this man who some is in some strange situation, and we don't know why and what about. So anyway, the father of this daughter becomes a kind of greedy or something. He sells his daughter. Then we see the daughter, and you see that we have here a little young woman who is kind of, I don't know, she is not autistic or something, but she is apparently or either narcissist, or she's a little asocial. She's standing outside the other girls of her age group who are working and singing, and she's just admiring the portrait of the sailor, and she's dreaming along to help this poor sailor who is doomed in a way. And she sings her own song, and that's what she's doing. So she's a kind of outcast, social outcast. Nevertheless, she has got a fiancé, Eric, who is a hunter, and so it's another social group. And anyway, Eric, the hunter, is already very suspicious about this kind of daydreams of his future wife, and he tries to get her to reason, and this rather robust and aggressive way he does it. Anyway, the ship comes, both ship comes and come, and the captain presents finally his daughter to this Dutchman. The Dutchman is immediately very happy that it seems to be the right girl, woman for him who can give him redemption from whatever problem he has. And father is happy that it works out the way he wants. And the strangest thing of all is that the girl already is prepared for this kind of meeting and prepared for this kind of fate. That's a very strange thing. So she agrees immediately, and all kind of conflict we would look for in a dramaturgy is wiped out. The little quenching, or say, of Eric, who is not very happy, is kind of brushed away. And well, then something strange happens. And before strange things happen, this Dutchman says, "Well, it's kind of strange because you don't know what will happen to you when you come with me." And she says, "Nevertheless, I don't care. I come with you." And he wants to save her in a way from this fate, which apparently is awaiting her, but at the end she's decided to go. She made up her mind, and they both leave, and kind of strange thing happened. Finally, they die together, whatever. I mean, she obviously has to die, or whatever, she has to die that he lives. It's a kind of implosion, not only in the dramaturgical sense, but there's a kind of implosion of the opera itself. So the very straightforward dramaturgical line is a little awkward. It's going too well for them. But I don't want to stop on that. I was just a little disappointed, to say at least, that I was waiting for the moment when the father comes back and tells his daughter, "Listen, girl, I have a man for you, and it's very important that you marry him." He could say, "Well, because I got a lot of money," or just he doesn't say it. And she would obviously mind well, protest at least, and say, "Well, look, that's actually my business to find my lover, or my man, my wife, my husband." But you can say, well, at that time it was the parents who choose, but it's too smooth, too easy. She is not only accepting it; she was waiting for it. That's a very awkward thing. But the point here I want to make is that if you ask if Wagner is a musical shrink, I say yes. It's a proto-shrink, obviously, because psychology wasn't invented at that time. It was a little too early, but it was building up to what we see in Freud and all the others, and Rank, and all this analyzing of personality disorders and so on, which developed obviously in the industrial age of the 19th century. Wagner shows a woman, a girl who wants to marry, but she's completely into, how to say, she's fascinated by this kind of rock star, this kind of dark rider, Zorro, Batman, you name it, this kind of enigmatic male loner who evokes, at least in certain girls and certain women, an erotic arousal or an erotic desire. But where is it going? So the fascinating and really obviously dramatic and tragic and horrible thing is that she is ready to give up her life just to prove that she can give up her life for this man, that she is she is this man's, this strange man's unique lover, or she believes in him, and she gives himself to this man without actually asking anything in return. So the question, if you make this deal, as the father makes the deal, he takes the diamonds and gives his daughter, because he says his daughter is the most important and most valuable thing he has got in life. Well, question asked that. So the daughter herself, she isn't looking for a family, she isn't looking for richness, she isn't looking for anything. She's just looking for an identity, to identify as what this man is looking for in a woman. And she says, I am this woman. She's a kind of a groupie of a pop star. It's a groupie phenomenon we see in Senta, That's the name of this girl or young woman. And she wants to be just near or close to this rock star. So that's the bottom line of this short thing is that it seems to be a school or an observation in radical fundamentalism that you give up at a certain age in adolescence your life or your life perspectives, or you don't even have life perspectives because you maybe cannot have them or you don't want them because you're in this verge from childhood from being protected in a way or need to be protected into your own mode of protecting yourself and then protecting others, protecting your offspring, protecting your parents, protecting your friends. This is at this strange age. It's hard to say. Maybe it might differ, 16, 17 or earlier, and it runs into the 20s when people are really ready to give up their life in a kind of suicide bombers or terrorists or other believers into gurus. They really don't think what is awaiting them, what's their life going to look like, what's the perspective, what's life going to be with this strange dark rider together, and so on and so on. So it's a dive into a high sexual arousal and excitement at that time, which just implodes because there is nothing after it. So Wagner tells us in a very clever way, actually, that there's all a very straight line. There is a predisposition because the girl already is waiting for it. So it's like this addiction thing. She is waiting and she accepts it and she wants it, and he is just giving her this. And he is also warning her, but she ignores the warning, and then they both ride off, and she gives up her own life, she gives up her existence, and it goes like boom, like you blow out a candle, and that's that. So I think that's for me my view I had this time of the Flying Dutchman in a very impressive and completely unromantic way. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.